Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is a new episode of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host, Antoine. Just laying back, relaxing, giving a new podcast after a long weekend of working tonight. Just not too long walked in. It wasn't too busy tonight. I just decided to just go in, take care of some business early in the day before I left for work. Just not too long walked in, took a nice shower, laid back, ate me a little something, and now I'm delivering a new podcast for the Right Info Podcast Show. And tonight's topic will be improving my community. Now, this is a blog that I did earlier that I posted on WordPress, Linkit, Facebook, and Jetpack as well. This is the blog podcast version of it. So without being said, let me go ahead and get started. So give y'all a nice little show tonight. It won't be too long. The podcast isn't all that long. So let me just go on and talk about what I want to discuss tonight. Tonight's topic is dealing with the improving of my community, improving my community. Now, sometimes it's just the small things that make a big difference. Now, here's what I do to improve my town. Hometown Chicago, of course. Now, every time I visit the local park, I live around a lot of parks of where I'm at. There's a park north, there's a park south, east, and west. And if I'm around in a local park, I just go ahead and pick up a little litter. I'm also teaching my young daughter to do the same, cleanliness and responsibility. If you're going to live in an area or live somewhere, make sure it's clean. Even if you don't live not outside, but if you're outside enjoying yourself, you see a little some paper, pick it up or put it in the garbage or whatever. Or let the cleaning people know, if you see a cleaning person, of course, that there's litter around the place, and if they be so kind to pick it up, I'm sure they do it. Now, imagine if everyone else did the same thing instead of complaining about, other people's trash, trashing the place. Now, imagine the impact that would definitely have. I also do little things like, mow my neighbor's front lawn. It's not a real lawn. It's like a medium-sized lawn. He'll return the favor and do something nice for me, like, bring my dumpster from the curb after trash day. Even though I don't have a car, but I stay at a place where there's a nearby curb. Now, I think we've lost some sense of civility and kindness these days with all this division and hatred. We don't need the division and hatred nowadays. We already have enough of that, going on with the presidential election going on right now, which is going to be occurring in November. But I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about improving my community. Something that politicians, city, state, and federal, officials can do. Now, I like to put my money where my mouth is. Now, instead of virtue signaling, why don't you just get up and actually go do something? Even if it's just, pick up a piece of trash or sweep the front, help out the community, clean out parking lots, vacant lots, streets, corners, or whatever. If you see something, pick it up. Even if you didn't put it there, pick it up. You know the old thing going where, like, for example, somebody drop a piece of paper, people will just walk right past it. You can have 5, 6 people walk right past that one piece of paper. 2, 3 hours later, it still be there. So, that's always been crazy to me. So what can I say? I mean, I've been guilty of walking past something, and if I see it, I'll pick it up. I'm not saying I'm lazy and I wouldn't pick it up, even though if I didn't drop it. But if it's in my house, yes, I do it. But if I'm outside or whatever, I may do it. Or unless I get to it, if I'm in a rush to get to where I have to go and make sure, that the carelessness that I'm showing, I can't be a hypocrite because I walked past something and I didn't pick it up, and here I am talking about picking something up on the ground if I didn't drop it, or even if somebody else dropped it. It's kind of funny if you think about it. Like I said, just picking up a piece of paper, cleaning up a vacant lot where an old house used to be, it'll benefit the community. It'll really, let people of your community know that you really care about your community. Who knows? A public official might walk by, see you doing something, cleaning the front, or just, taking something stuff to the recycling center like I did sometimes some years back. I rarely do it now because we really don't have, we have recycling bins, but the people that come pick up the garbage, they come and pick it up. And helping your community keep your community clean is what makes a community great. This is just going to be a short podcast, nothing long, like I said earlier, because I just had a long day's work. Well, long night's work, I'm sorry. But I had a long day plus a long night at work. But it wasn't too long because I just not too long came in, had me a little snack. And, excuse me, I was just clearing my voice. The point I was just making is, if you live somewhere, keep it clean. If you see a neighbor trying to, take care of something like move a trash can or big garbage bag full of garbage and they can't get it, lend him or her a hand. I'm sure they'd really appreciate it. Well, I know they'd appreciate it because I know I'd appreciate it if somebody did it for me, and that'd be a great, standard of, understanding each other, when it comes to helping out your community. You know, get children to learn how to pick things up, pick up the trash, put in more um, work and taking care of their, neighborhoods, that sort of thing. It's not always going to be the cleanest neighborhood in the city, but at least start off with that. All it takes is just one pickup at a time, one move at a time, and who knows, within time, the whole area will be nice and clean. Everybody will enjoy themselves. No litter, no broken bottles, no cans, no cigarette butts, no old pieces of paper, old newspapers laying around, that sort of thing. That'll really bring clutter. Not just make clutter, it'll probably bring, most likely pests and rodents and all that like it. We definitely don't need that. We're really doing everything in our power to keep our city clean. And, we've had our successes, we had our failures. But at the end of the day, everything's good. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. I'm chipping in. Everybody else is pitching in. And it makes a world of difference. So, this is the end of this podcast of how I help my community, or improving my community. That's the title of the podcast. But I just added that, helping, improving, it's the same thing basically. And I had like I said, a good day, a good weekend. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow, punch that clock early in the morning, wake up at 4:30 and blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Woo woo, whatever. But hey, anything, some place to go to is better than no place of going to at all. Clear my throat. So I'm going to say good night to everyone. This podcast will be posted on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, X, formerly known as Twitter, and most likely, well, definitely, I don't know. I try to get it on iHeart and stuff, but I'm still working on that. Get my podcast on iHeart, SoundCloud, and all them, and Wondery, and all them other things. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to expand with these podcasts. Inspired with my podcast show and my blogs as well. So this will also be on WordPress as a podcast. So y'all can go to that as well. And with that being said, I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. You all take care. Enjoy this podcast. Another podcast will be coming. This is the end of the Right Info podcast show with your host, Antoine. And you all take care of yourselves and always help each other, whether you're keeping the community clean or keep it, wherever you go, clean. Just do that. And at the end of the day, you'll feel great and you'll feel better. And I am going to say good night. You all take care of yourselves. Love you all. See you all again. Bye-bye.